Good afternoon. I often used to pull in here, stop in here when I was working at a Crane Chicken Weybridge just up the road and watch the sun go down. I used to start at 6 o'clock. So I used to just park across the way there or have a walk around the lake before I started working nights. And there's certainly some in a big disc Black Panther serial killer frame that would certainly like to see the sun go down on me. Certainly Disc Fishing Club, there's some there who have had plenty to say. But Brian Goodman, who I used to lodge with, I thought he'd done a fairly big number in the big disc frame. He has made the biggest claims, even posting them on Facebook using Colin Izzett's Facebook account, not only claiming that I am the Black Panther Sandringham serial killer, but he and only he can prove it. No one else can. Everyone else has tried, but only he can prove it. Which anyone is welcome to speak to him and listen to his load of bull. He'll spin you. But when I was at Crane Chicken Weybridge, it was just up the way there. In this area, I don't exactly know where, but somewhere in this area, not too long ago, a man and a woman were murdered, and they found the gentleman stabbed up and wrapped in black plastic, somewhere in this location in a wood in this area. And it's the same with another gentleman called Peter Wrighton over at Banham, just walking his black dog. I think he had a black Labrador, and certainly no son of Sam here, Peter Wrighton in Banham. This youth, for whatever reason, demon possessed, whatever, just attacked him in a frenzy nice attack and killed him. Just to, an old boy out enjoying the countryside, walking his dog. Again, the unexpected when you least expect it. You don't expect to go walking your dog and end up being frenzied knife attack. And as I say, his name was Peter Wrighton. Well, no Peter Sutcliffe, black cat, copycat, black cat have burst in here. Certainly no Peter Sutcliffe, Peter Cook, Peter Tobin. And as I say, it was a frenzy knife attack, and in a big disc Black Panther serial killer frame, people setting you up to take a big hit, you certainly can be stabbed 7 times, and once Steve right through the heart. So, and the other thing is too, Mr. Brian Goodman not only making this big claim, he also claimed the Polish would kill me. Well, there's over 1,000 Eastern Europeans in this, and probably about 800 Polish. And at the time I was working at Pizza Plus, and we were right next to the Polish shop in Dis, the Pizza Plus. And you also had Polish in the flats above Pizza Plus, giving me the evil, spitting down in front of me. Eastern European crews in the car park giving me the evils. And I did mean to bring it. I have got the bullet in the car, but I did mean to just do a little video of the bullet. But they left the bullet on my van just to send me a message. So I said to Joseph, and I mean Joseph and his family who have Pizza Plus looked after me really well. Lovely to work for. Really hard working guy is Joseph. Looks after you really well. And I said to him, I'm going to have to call it a day here, Joseph, because I can't guarantee. I mean, sometimes I was carrying, quite a lot of his money, doing a lot of deliveries. And I said, I can take a big hit. I go out into the villages, into the back end, and beyond. I can get taken off the road, I can get disappeared, they could make it look like a robbery. That's your money gone, that's your van written off. But, I don't want to bring the war in this to your door. You've been really good to me, and I really thank you for giving me the opportunity to work, employment when a lot of other people wouldn't employ me. So I left it, at that. And the one thing is, with Brian Goodman saying, not only could he prove that I was the Sandringham serial killer, which he couldn't prove. He thinks he's the big poker player of this. I mean, is he? Colin is, it has been in poker tournaments and done quite well in them, but he says he's a better poker player than Izzy. And he thought he could be centre stage, #1 player, #1 assassin in this, in my assassination. You know, big police council spy. And but the only thing he has in his hand, myself, Africa, Dis, Norwich, Sandringham, I have 4 aces. The only thing Brian Goodman has got, and others like him, is he's got 4 jokers. Sip, 0, silch, and a whole lot of nothing. The only thing he's got in his hand is Izzy's dick. So, but the one thing you always have to be mindful of, I mean, not saying Izzy would do this, but Izzy came into quite a lot of money recently. Brian Goodman, you know, he had backdated DWP money at the time. There is always people who will do other people's dirty work. And there's also, you know, others who'll do anything for money, for drugs, for alcohol. And especially, you know, it's anybody, it's not just Eastern Europeans. I mean, and especially some people in, you know, in the Eastern European community, they're out of work, they've got no funds coming in whatsoever. I mean, I did have a run-in with Matt Dribble, and I half expected Matt Dribble and his Polish crackhead crew to come and pay me a visit. But, you know, it didn't come to that, but certainly came to confrontation down at the lockup. And you had, you know, Brian Goodman, it's a bit like the Oxford murders, where someone says something that starts a chain reaction. With John Hurt, the film, The Oxford Murders, and that leads to murders, and that also leads to children being burnt alive on a minibus. And this whole chain reaction starts because someone has said something. And Brian was very close with Jojo Uplands Way at the time, and she had plenty to say, shouting and screaming, you know, outside where I was staying, everyone's windows open in the summer, hot night, 4 o'clock in the morning, shouting at the, but give Jo a due. She did come and apologise to me, but accused me of everything under the sun, calling me everything. You know, riding shotgun with Kaylee. And I did confront their monster lies. I did, you know, text them, and I did post on Facebook and said, you know, look, what able taxis, this taxis are going around saying, yeah, that people have put me in a picture about Jojo and Kaylee Garnham, is untrue, and it's also unacceptable. So to return the favour, they sent PC 1776 Godbold round with a community order. One, a harassment order, that would have been the next thing, but he had a community order, you know, that me and Kaylee mustn't speak to each other, because I had confronted, you know, the monster black lies rolling down Uplands Way and driving around disabled taxis, free with every fare. And I did show PC 1776 Godbold, you know, the messages I'd sent and on Facebook, and he said, yeah, there is nothing there that constitutes harassment. So I wasn't harassing, you know, I don't, even people I know have set me up in this, you know, they're free to walk down this. People say, oh, we won't go into this, you know, Johnny Botwright. No, they can believe the biggest monster lies they want. They can drink from the big disc council poison chalice, they can fill their boots. That doesn't bother me. But, you know, but I will share about it. I mean, my Facebook account has been burnt down because this Norfolk Police headquarters not happy with me exposing their big monster frame and their big monster black bluff that they want everyone to believe is true. So Facebook recently did burn down my account, and I had almost 5,000 friends, started 3 groups, 18,000 members, 10 pages, all the evidence, you know, in my innocence, you know, that is still linked out to a forum, and that had 81,000 views, and then they changed the server on the forum, and it's now just gone up to 185,000 views. There's over 260,000 views. So I'd put the evidence, you know, online for everyone to see who was telling the truth and who was full of monster black lies. and who was setting me up, how they're setting me up, and why they're setting me up. You know, it was there for the world to see. And like I said, Roland solicitors in the past said, Johnny, you know, you have got a good case of character assassination. But just to clear your name, you know, I won't sue anybody, not about money, £21,000. Well, who's got £21,000 to clear the name? You know, so if you're a celebrity and someone makes a false allegation against you. I mean, it was like Heather Mills, who was with Paul McCartney. Now, all the money and status she's got, that took her 17 years to confront the monster lies that nearly destroyed her life. And that was only in the last 6 months, you know, that made the press, but 17 years. The people of Hillsborough, up against a very big police collaboration cover-up to clear their loved ones' names, fought for over 23 years. You know, the dingo couple in Australia, 30 years having to fight to, you know, to clear their loved ones' names. And it's a bit like the man who organised the London Marathon, and they accused him he'd only done so to sell his running shoe. So they said he'd done it for financial gain, which, you know, I wouldn't even bat an eyelid at an allegation like that. But he took his accusers to High Court. Again, I say, not my case, not about money. And he won £336,000. Because the reason he organised the London Marathon is because he was inspired by the New York Marathon. And but when he came out of the court, he said something very profound, and at the time that kind of inspired me. He said, if people can destroy your good name, Cranswick certainly playing a big part in that, you know, with all their serial killer lies. And like I say, the gentleman around here stabbed and wrapped up in black. But this gentleman said, if people can destroy your good name, they can destroy your life. And, you know, I've known that firsthand, you know, around employment, reputation, being ostracised, being outcast, all because of monster black lies that people have swallowed. And I mean, this fishing club, one big black hook with 7 black maggot lies that many people have swallowed. And now they've got monster black maggot lies crawling around in their heads, driving them crazy. But that's up to them. Like I said, people can believe whatever they want, but I will obviously have my say. I will confront monster black lies in the public domain, Facebook or on a forum, or doing a video like this. Fair dues. But Crying Chicken Wayward really did want to wrap me up in their big chicken wrap. And Garth, you know, I was working nights, good job, a lovely crew I was working with, you know, and happy to be working again. But the thing is, coming back, there's always people, you know, who will stir things, but there's always people who will do other people's dirty work. And like with Brian, you know, the girl who was found at Sandringham, you know, abused and hunted, certainly not by me, she was Eastern European. So if the Eastern Europeans in Dis or Crying Chicken Way would swallow this big monster lie that, you know, that was something to do with me, where does that leave me when I'm in Dis with over 1,000 Eastern Europeans? Or where did that leave me at Crying Chicken Way but working with 200 Eastern Europeans? And you know, the monster black lies were coming in there. So I lost my job on nights, got mysteriously moved off nights. Then I was put onto on the day shift, and I went in the line room, you know, packing in the cold store, loading pallets and so forth. Then they put me in the tray shed. Now I have worked, you know, I've worked in the past, frozen herbs, and we use chlorine in the tanks and British sugar. You know, there's certain tanks and juice tanks and cleaning and so forth. And plus I've just been chemically trained working, cleaning the rest of the factory on night. But the tray room at Crying Chicken Wayward was disgusting. There was rotten chicken on the walls, the ceiling, underneath the machine. You know, I don't know how long that had been there. Outside where they wheel all the cages, some of the cages all full of chicken, rotten. And I just thought, no one has chemically cleaned this place for forever. You know, the state of this place, and the trays are also stacked over the yard out in the hot sun, so it comes in, with all this congealed chicken that's just been out there for days. And it's a warm room. It's a warm, moist room. It's a big tray wash machine. It's running washing trays at a temperature. And the bacteria count in this room is through the roof. People would get eye infections working in there, ear infections. People told me they had stomach infections. And then when I looked at the water in the tray washing machine, I couldn't believe it. Like I say, I've done tanks and so forth. Now, the water in a tray washing machine should be changed twice on a 12-hour shift. Obviously, there's also chemicals going into that water to wash the trays with. But it was like a chicken soup that hadn't been changed for weeks. And it was absolutely, disgusting. So I got the health and safety, when she came down there, the health and safety assistant, Deborah, and I said, look at the state of this place. Look, no one's chemically cleaned this. This should be chemically cleaned at night. I mean, the ironic thing is all the chemicals for the night cleaners are outside, just, out in the holding room where the tray rooms are, but no one can have access to them, only the night cleaners. Her saying that they're too busy, to clean the tray room and the surrounding area. I said, the machine has rotten chicken. I sure the water in the machine and all the rotten chicken in this machine. And she agreed, that just couldn't go on. That was disgusting. And then what made matters worse, these trays are coming out washed in this contaminated. I mean, you have to change the water twice, on a 12-hour shift in a tray machine because of the high risk of contamination. And this water, or whatever you want to call it, it was congealed. Had been in there for weeks and hadn't been changed. And a lot of shifts also weren't chemically trained, so if they run out of chemical, they couldn't even put new tubs of chemical into the machine, so they would just wash them with this disgusting water. These trays were then being taken into Crown Chicken, into the packing room. Raw naked chicken is put into these soaking wet trays covered in all this slime, put into stacks, and then all this toxic slime is dripping over fresh chicken and then being packed up and sent to Morrison's. And I flagged up, I said, there's no way you can do this. This is the time when the young lad had been, someone threw some cheese down his back and he had an allergy to cheese. I said, the disgusting stuff off those trays coming out the tray machine, dripping all over naked fresh chicken, this surely can't be good practice. So that really put Scott, the health and safety manager's nose out of joint, and Garth, who had moved me off nights, who had assassinated me on nights, he's the new hygiene manager. Well, he's certainly not doing his job because this place is in a disgusting mess. And certainly rattle his cage when I say, the night cleaners I've been on there, and we'd be finished about 4, we'd coast, till 5 o'clock, and surely someone can come over here and chemically wash here. So I really stood on Garth's toes too, the new hygiene manager. So his nose was put out of joint. So Garth and Scott thought they could do a right number on me, And soon the big monster lies. And the other thing is, with the engineers, really nice lad. He lost his brother recently. I'm not saying the information came in through him, but wouldn't be. But he was his brother was one of the 3 lads who hit the tree at Pullham, and then the car caught fire. God rest his soul, or their souls. Again, the unexpected, when you least expect it. You can take a very, very big hit. So the management there really served me up, and I did have a run-in with a Romanian gypsy. I mean, there's quite a lot of Romanians on there, 40, and I'm not prejudiced because I come from Romany gypsies, Willoughby's in Kent, Walker's London. But I had a run-in with one of them who came through the curtain looking deranged and demonic. He did look demon-possessed. He came flying through the plastic curtains wanting to fight me. I was pressure washing at the time, so I backed him off with a pressure washer. Just how the police, would have to back off a mob with evil intent coming towards them. They'd use a water cannon. Well, I backed this guy off, backed him through the doors with a powerful pressure washer. But that is not why I got sacked. I mean, I was put on suspension. 15-day bogus, which I've written about, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but they had a 15-day bogus investigation. Simon Bailey Don't Cry, his blonde plainclothes lover in the centre of it as always, with Garth, with Cranswick managers, Quattro agency, big police collaboration. Now I was meant to have a meeting with him, and Qantas, I don't know, Qantas, however you, he emailed me and said, you know, could I go to a meeting with him. I was meant to have a meeting with him on the Friday, but Steph's dad, where I stay in this, he was rushed into hospital at 3 o'clock in the morning, so she asked me if I could take her up to hospital at Galston. Anyhow, well, the hospital at Galston, if I could go and take her to visit her dad at 3 o'clock. So the meeting I was meant to be having at Cranswick and Waverley was meant to be at 2:30. So I said I won't be able to make the meeting today, but I am obviously available because you've laid me off and I'm not working, so I'm available any day next week. I'll come in for a meeting. Next thing, I get a week later, I get an email saying, we tried to contact you but to no avail. Well, there was no phone calls, no emails. They had my email account, they certainly had my phone number, no phone call, no email. So they hadn't tried to contact me, to no avail. You have been dismissed with immediate effect. So I said, okay, you know, contacted Casuntus, Quattro agency, Cranswick, their headquarters in Hull, and said, right, put it in writing. I want it in writing, exactly why I have been sacked. You know, when you dismiss somebody, you are meant to have the courtesy to even put it into writing. So when I go to a next employer, they say, you know, always on employment forms, they always ask, have you ever been dismissed from a company, which I now have. So I said, you know, can you put it in writing? They could not put one single word in writing, not one single word. And I mean, if I was contract, I could go for, you know, unfair dismissal, just to push out their big monster black chicken shit frame full of Cranswick porcupine lies, police collaboration. You know, I would have pushed it as far as I could, not about the money, just to push it out in the public domain, which they're all now up to the necks in. So Cranswick is a really big company. I say I've just built a state-of-the-art chicken factory over at 55 or 65 million, meant to be the most high-tech chicken factory in Europe. And as I say, they couldn't put one word in writing. Now Cranswick is a big company. I think that might have been one of their butchers working in Hull who killed the girl Libby. Well, I'm no bacon butcher serial killer here. No bodies in the boot of my car. No one disappeared by me. But Cranswick, this was amusing. I was in bed and PC Cage came around with the big chicken cage frame from Cranswick. Because I confronted what happened at Cranswick and Waverley and the monster black frame, the police collaboration, they sent the police round, PC Cage. You know, I'd only confronted it again to say that I was harassing Cranswick. You know, this great big company, little old me, David and Goliath, that I'm harassing Cranswick. And I, you know, mustn't send them any more emails. I have. I've always fired in, you know, emails, anything relevant to, you know, what has gone on and what has involved Cranswick and Waverley. Anyhow, God bless. I hope you enjoy the video. As I say, I used to love walking around the lakes. But like I say, when in this, there are people who will do people's dirty work. I can take a very big hit. Obviously, when you leave this, the hunt begins too. People will set you up just for fun. Have you hunted? They like their blood sport. You know, I've had these, you know, crews in this. I had to go to ground, and that was when I was at Pizza Plus. And when I reached safety, Steph thought they'd got me. There was, you know, 4 vehicles. They thought I'd disappeared in the back of a van at Ladbroke Close. And she reported me as missing to the police because she did, you know, she thought I had been disappeared, but I'd gone to ground, took the battery out of my phone so I couldn't be tracked. When I reached safety, I had a text from Norfolk Police asking me if I was safe. So I emailed them, I phoned them and texted them. I said, you tell me where is safe. You know, I've had crews in North Norfolk, spoke to the police at East Runton, in Holt, just turned a blind eye. I left Norfolk, I went to Derbyshire. I had crews, you know, roll up in Buxton. I was out on the Goyt Valley up by the Cat and the Fiddle, but no black cat, copycat here, or Black Panther. Up there with, you know, a pickup with 4 big searchlights, vans. Spoke to the police in Macclesfield. Just turned a blind eye. I disappeared into the Lake District, Cranswick. You know, I said to him, you know, I'm not the police at Cranswick. I said, look, the black van is over there in the car park. Who are these people? Obviously, they must be government sanctioned and they can follow me through the cameras all through the UK, so they know where I am. Or I can't find a tracker on the car or my GPS on my phone, you know, which I've turned off. I haven't used an ATM machine, haven't used a computer in a library, but they are on my tail. Who are these people? This is in Cranswick. And I said, look, I am not Derek Bird. I haven't come here to shoot the Lake District up, you know, and I'm certainly not Rolmo. I'm not a cop killer, MP or GP killer. You know, I'm only armed with the truth. And again, at Cranswick, they turned a blind eye. So it was cat and mouse around the Lake District, but I know quite, you know, some good places to go to ground, lay low, which I did. Then I went down to Ambleside, to the Parishfield Ambleside Centre, and took refuge there for a month, and St Mary's Church there. Now, I even spoke to the police in Windermere. I lost the crews, they didn't show up around at the Ambleside Windermere district. And I think the powers to be, because backup did arrive for myself, they didn't actually want a big and they couldn't afford another big confrontation in the Lake District, not after Rolmo, you know, up in the northeast or wherever that took place, and with Derek Bird. So they were just probably told to stand down anyhow. But the police at Windermere, they got my driver's license, which they knew was genuine, and they couldn't get my details up, and they had never known this, you know, nothing. They couldn't get anything up at all. So they said, this is really strange, Johnny. It's like you've been erased, or people are trying to erase you, and that's for true. And what happened at Cranswick and Weybridge, especially stirring up all their Eastern Europeans and filling them with their toxic slime, which is only just up the road there, Johnny Botwright could have definitely been stabbed, wrapped up in black plastic, and disappeared. I mean, there's a few big pits in this area, you know, in a mile area here, some very deep pits. You know, I could have ended up in a pit. I'd leave off, you know, early in the morning or late at night. That's quite an isolated place. You could easily get tacked up here and bye-bye, and there'd be the monster mirror carp in here. Would be feeding on Johnny Botwright. So, and like I say, even from the lakes, I came back to Norfolk, you know, stayed up there for a few months, came back to Norfolk. I went along the North Norfolk coast to Blakeney, parked in the car park. There was 6 other cars, and now I parked right in the middle of them, so my car was the 7th vehicle. Sat on the hill behind the toilets and said, right, let's see if we can, you know, see if we get any company. And that was the other thing I was going to mention about Cranswick and Weybridge, why it comes to mind. Why I mentioned the engineers and the young guy who lost his dear brother, and, you know, close friends who hit a tree at Pullham. Well, they're very friends with the Skelton Road assassins across the road from where I stay, and Jackie Potter, Lemon and Co across the road. So it's very easy, you know, for monster lies to come into a workplace, and that just spread like a virus. Well, it leaves me in a fairly precarious situation with 200 Eastern Europeans that they believed that I was the Sandringham serial killer and murdered a 17-year-old girl, which again was never the case. But anyhow, I come back to North Norfolk, parked. I'm sitting on the hill behind Blakeney toilets. Within 1 hour, 2 pickups start going around. Went round once, came round a second time. Then one pickup peeled off and went over to my vehicle. So I thought, well, I can't stay here. They obviously don't know I'm watching. So I went along to Cromer, parked in a very discreet place, waited for nightfall. I walked all the way along the beach in the dark I went all the way up the steps to Warren Wood. I mean, the cliffs are really high there. Set up good base. You camp in Warren Wood in a very concealed place, but you get very good 4G signal up there, 4G. So if I'll turn my phone on and see if I get any company, if they are tracking my phone, you know, or my GPS, let my GPS be on. Let's see if I get any company in the wood. And sure enough, at 11 PM, 3 blokes come in this wood with big handheld searchlights and no dogs, and I can see them but they can't see me. So I leave a lot of my stuff in the wood and I just disappear out of the wood before these 3 blokes get me, and I disappear. As I say, the cliffs there are very high, and in a framed Sutcliffe Black Panther Sandringham serial killer frame, you could disappear over a cliff. And then Norfolk Bacon SS, oh, Johnny Botwright committed suicide, which would never be the case. If I'm found hanging or if I'm found at the bottom of a cliff, you can guarantee I never committed suicide, because I have had death threats to hang and tree, obviously a price on my head and a big surprise I won't see coming. And the death threat, the contract is real. People will set you up just for sport, you know, some people for the fun of it, some people for the hell of it. But you know, they're quite happy for me, and Police would not Police too, but Norfolk Police be very happy for, and Cranswick too. Cranswick and Wayward managers and would be very happy for me to be disappeared. You know, frame, fix, assassination complete. Very happy if someone does their dirty work for them. So anyhow, I left some of my gear in Cromer Wood, which got handed in to Cromer Police. So when I went to pick it up, Cromer Police, the sergeant on the desk, you know, I run past where I'd left it, and you know, a little bit of what's been going on. Cromer Police ordered me off the coast, and they said, if you don't leave, we will make you disappear. We'll just say that you're mad and deranged, or you're a serial killer or whatever, and off you go to the Norfolk Baconess pork farm. And that's where another thing with Cranswick, which I've covered in, you know, in my posts on the forum. You know, they weren't just setting me up and I could have got my throat slit like a chicken's neck. They wanted me banged up at the, you know, the Cranswick Baconess pork farm, Dr. Death's black pig pen. They wanted me locked up, you know. But I say, no mad serial killer here. But that's what their big agenda going on, thinking they were very smart, Claire, Garth, Deborah and Scott. So again, Cromer Police said, if you don't leave the coast, we will make you disappear. So then I dropped down into Norwich, you know, out of the frying pan into the fire. But it's like on the coast. I always park on camera. You know, for instance, you know, when I went Cromer, Sheringham, I come out of the library at 5 o'clock at Sheringham and parked in the centre of Sheringham, got something to eat. I was reading a book. They were putting the Christmas lights up. I even had to move back. I think they were putting them across the Barclays Bank, and I had to move back to let the teleporter. So I'm parked there, come out of the library at 5, parked there till 7. At 6 o'clock, a man in North Walsham, not very far away from Sheringham, attacks a girl in an alleyway. But no black alley cat here. And if you're on camera, you've got an alibi. If you're not on camera, so all the way down the coast, even with the Hitcham beach hut, you know, when I was around, you know, police calling for backup at Hitcham, 7 miles from Sandringham, calling me a black cat. The hut that I used there, a disused beach hut that I done up, having a cast for a bass, next minute I'm stitched up like Norfolk Jack the Kipper. But that is also on camera. And, you know, Blakeney park under the live webcam, because I've got my fishing gear, camping gear, and if I might walk on the sands, that deters anyone from breaking into your car. Plus, if there is an incident and you're on camera, it can't be you, because you can't be in 2 places at once. You know, it's very good from the film, Lee Evans' film, which is called Freeze Frame, where he uses cameras. So that's was my only saving grace. They wanted to wrap me up at Hitcham, you know, and Julie, my ex-wife, and her family phoning me in as the Sandringham serial killer. But my only saving grace is I'd parked on camera, and I never went any further than Hitcham, and I certainly have never set foot on, you know, the Royal Mason SS66 mob, Black Princess, Black Dukes and their vampire mummy queens, you know, Jezebel, Ma, the big lizard at Sandringham, Camilla and Count Dracula. I've never set foot on the Sandringham estate, and I certainly, you know, in the film Get Carter, you know, in Newcastle, there's certainly not me leaving bodies on the Royal Sandringham estate. No way. You know, that was their crime, and again, this police put my name in the goblet of fire, and must have put me in the goblet of fire. You know, for me to be hunted down by crews and Land Rovers and pickups and vans, you know, they wanted me disappeared and wanted me to take the fall for their Sandringham estate Jack the Ripper crime. And again, so I had to leave the coast because the Cromer police ordered me off the coast in Norwich, come out the Forum. Now, I had picked up a lady's mountain bike at Gregson's, which is on the Burston Gisson Road, the art gallery there, Two Fishers Art Gallery, and Free to a Good Home, and they're lovely old bikes. So I put, you know, some new tyres and tubes on it. Lovely old bike to cruise around, and that's what I had in Norwich. So when I'm, you know, confronted, and this was all on CCTV, so anyone who knew me, which again the police took the CCTV down, I don't know why, but that was on YouTube, the man following the woman at Norwich train station. Again, I was parked on Mousehold Heath between two cameras, you know, where the prison is by the cafe, and I'd come out the Forum at 8:30 out with the other homeless people at the homeless food stand, and I had a woman's duchy bike. So I was not the Norwich train station mountain bike rapist. Plus he had a hoodie on, certainly younger than myself. He was on a mountain bike. Well, I've got a woman's duchy bike and I'm not wearing a hoodie, so I am not the Clockwork Orange Norwich train station mountain bike rapist either, nor the Sandringham serial killer. And I'm certainly not a paedophile, you know, a Child 44. Very good film. I watched that in Cromer. But as I say, how people can wrap you up in a big chicken wrap, big black wrap, similar to the gentleman that was found in this location, stabbed, in a very deep, like these pits are very deep, very dark and very black at the bottom, and the mud at the bottom. People will, you know, in a very black frame, you can be found. You can just be going through the woods. You can take a big hit anywhere, anyway. And also, like I mentioned earlier in this video, when I said to the police, you know, you tell me where is safe, and your big black serial killer, paedophile, black wizard, Norfolk Jack the Ripper, Norfolk Suffolk Strangler, according to Cranswick and Wayward, you tell me where is safe. You tell me if I'm safe, you know, with death threats of a price on my head and a big surprise I won't see coming. And I phoned them, I emailed them, put it in the public domain, I texted them, asked them that message, and I am still waiting for a reply. Why? Because they can't answer. They know where is safe for me. I'm marked, price on my head, I can take a big hit anywhere, anytime. Whether it's in this, where I'm surrounded by assassins, or if I run, which is the wisest thing to do to avoid a confrontation, is to run and go to ground. They know that, you know, I'm going to be hunted. I will just be blood sport. As I say, some people love their blood sport, and some people love their blood money. And as I say, when it comes to that time, I hope I have a camera, and we'll see how and where the story continues too. But that is the situation I'm in at the moment. Okay, nice talking to you all. God bless, and we'll speak again soon. Bye.